Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So the Lifeweaver changes are now live and today he's finally playable in Ranked. In this video I want to cover my experiences playing him in Ranked as well as what I think his strengths and weaknesses are. First things first, I think his new control scheme is a lot better than the previous iteration, at least for me personally, and not having to constantly switch between DPS and heals using the same button makes him so much smoother and easier to play. My only criticism of the new control scheme is that the dash being bound to double jump did feel unnatural to me at first, but eventually I came around to it and now it's fine. As for how good Lifeweaver is at the moment, let's just put it this way. Today I played Ranked for roughly around 4 hours, and during that whole time I only saw one Lifeweaver on the enemy team who actually stayed on the character for the whole game, and he was really struggling. Here's a clip of the Lifeweaver I played against, and this was a high GM lobby. I'm not saying this person was a bad player by any means, but I think that a lot of people are still getting used to Lifeweaver's kit, and because of how much he has going on, there's so many opportunities for misplays or situations where things get so frantic that you really can't do much as Lifeweaver. But yeah, every other game where I saw Lifeweaver, they basically switched off after a couple of minutes because they simply just couldn't get enough value compared to other supports. And so after that, I decided to practice him a little bit and I played a few ranked games myself. Needless to say, it was a bit of a challenge and there were so many times where I really wanted to switch to another support. So let's start off with the glaring issues and the weaknesses of his kit. Number one, Lifeweaver's healing is abysmal. And unlike Hiriko, his damage is also negligible unless you're right up in the enemy's face for you to not be healing. What I noticed is that because his healing is so bad, I'd be constantly charging and throwing these healing blossoms at my teammates, but there'd be little to no downtime for me to actually do any significant DPSing. And even when I played like this, I noticed that sometimes I'd struggle to even keep up with the healing output from the other supports. The other problem I see with Lifeweaver is that his hitbox is just massive and he is a walking target for flankers. Even though he does have his dash and pedal platform, I feel like he has very little in terms of self-defense, and if the enemy team has a good Sombra or Tracer, then it's actually very hard for you to stay alive. The last thing I want to point out, and I guess this is more of a skill issue, is that Lifeweaver is not an easy character to play. Yes, he's not very aim intensive, but he has so much to micromanage in his abilities, and you need to be very aware of your positioning to get the most value out of your kit. Which brings me to his strengths, because I do feel like Lifeweaver is such a fun hero to play, and if you master his abilities, there can be moments where you pull off some really satisfying plays. For example, when your Ryan is charging all the way to Narnia on critical health, but you're like, nope, get your ass back here. Or when you strategically use your ultimate to separate or block off the enemy team when you know that they're about to push in. Unfortunately though, he is still situational and a little underpowered at the moment, so if people are really struggling with him in GM and top 500, I'm not sure how people are going to fare with him in lower ranks. Having said that, if some of you guys are still keen to play him in Ranked and don't know exactly what's the best way to play him, I'd actually recommend that you focus on healing, as well as paying attention to when you use your abilities to get the most out of the utility that's in your kit. I am by no means a Lifeweaver pro, but I'm going to include a game from today where I played pretty well, I had some decent pulls and good uses of my ultimate. For my settings, I do use the new control scheme, but there's an option to use the old one if that's what you prefer. I've also changed the sensitivity on my Healing Blossom and Life Grip to 80% just to help in situations where it might get a little crowded and I don't want to target the wrong person. I've also enabled the option to cancel platform using the interact key. For my key bindings, I put Thorn Volley on my left click and Healing Blossom on my right click, and I've also swapped the key bindings for Pedal Platform and Life Grip to the E and left shift keys respectively. Hopefully that helps those of you who are on PC and want to try my settings out. Anyway, here's some very average Grandmaster Lifeweaver gameplay, so enjoy.
Death Rattle.